Alright guys, so here we are for episode number 11 of the Pro Season Mode, Career Mode for F1 2015. It's been a very long time since I've recorded this series, so bear in mind I might be a little bit rusty for this series, but here we go. We're here for the Belgian Grand Prix, one of my favourite tracks on the calendar purely for racing, so I'm really looking forward to getting this series back underway in this episode today. In the previous episode in Hungary, we didn't have the best of starts. We ended up not finishing that race, no points against our name, and that has hurt us big time in the championship. We are currently 22 points behind Lewis Hamilton. Kimi Räikkönen trails him in second place, only 9 points behind him, so we've got a lot of catching up to do in this championship, and that's going to start today. In qualifying, it looks like we've got a rain-affected Q1 session. Hopefully, as the sessions progress throughout the day, it can get a little bit drier, and that should play into our hands a little bit. So, initially, I didn't want to set any laps just in case it was raining for the rest of the weekend, because wet tyres, intermediate tyres are at a premium, and you don't want to put unnecessary miles on those. And so finally, we head out at the end of the session to set our first timed lap of the day. We get interrupted there into turn 1 by a manor, but hopefully it doesn't hold us up too much. So we're just trying to build our pace. It's only Q1. Of course, we are pretty safe to get through to Q2. A rain-affected session really isn't going to affect that. And I believe we have safely made it to Q2. And yes, we have. We've qualified in P5 in this first qualifying session. There's still another 2 sessions to come, of course. So there's no need to worry about that grid position at the moment. Lewis Hamilton looking very quick as usual. So as we head into Q2 now, it looks like it's a little bit dry heading to the end of this session, and I was currently debating which tyres to go on. It actually looks like the dry tyres might be the way to go, but it still looks like it's raining outside, so that was why I was a little bit confused. It says the options are about 5 seconds faster, but then I go into the setup to alter the fuel levels in the car, and I saw that our setup wasn't there anymore. It was reset to the regular engineer setup, and that sort of confused me. That made me angry, and then all of a sudden I just went out and I forgot to change my tyres. And so getting distracted with the setup, I was looking at the setup for like 20-30 seconds, and little did I realise that not only we put on the wrong tyres, but we ran out of time to set a session in Q2, and that was it. We are starting pretty much last at the end of the Q2 session. So there we go. That is so annoying. I just got distracted for a few seconds and we got caught out massively. So even if we would have gone out in time on the intermediate tyres, you know, we would have probably ended up last anyway. So that is it. We are starting from P15 for the Belgian Grand Prix. So frustrating considering we had a DNF in the previous race as well. We can't afford to make any more mistakes. We've got to tackle this race now as if there's nothing to lose now. So that's what I'm going to do. Let's go to the race. So here we are for the race, for the Belgian Grand Prix, starting in 15th place, as you guys seen in that qualifying report there. So we've got a lot of overtaking to do. That is one thing for certain. We've got to smash through as many positions as we can on this first lap. We're going to be down on downforce. We're going to have extra downforce rather, and so our straight line speed isn't going to be that great. So trying to pick up as many positions as we can, trying to maximize that middle sector right throughout the day now is going to be absolutely key. Trying to stay in the slipstream of those cars in front of us and just giving this race an absolute go. Normally I do live comms for these kind of races, but today, because we're so far down the order, we're on the back foot, I just need a push, and so that's what I'm going to do. I'm doing a post commentary today, so we'll see how this goes. Building to the 5 red lights here for the Belgian Grand Prix. And it's away we go for the 11th round of Pro Season Mode. Can we get off to a decent start? It's been okay, not the best. We lose a position to the Force India, but coming into turn 1, we've got Max Verstappen on our inside there, and it's almost a 3-wide affair there between both the Toro Rossos and now another Toro Rosso and a Sauber. It looks like we're inside the top 10 already, so that's, what, 6, maybe 7 positions gained into turn 1. That is exactly what we need, but unfortunately though, there's absolutely no one in front of us heading over our rouge and onto the Camel Straight there, so there was no positions to be gained. Fortunately enough though, this is still the first lap, making another move. I think this is Romain Grosjean here, We're getting around the outside of him, and this is still a first lap. So we've managed to maximize that middle sector, just like I said, and staying in the slipstream of those cars in front of us on the straights. That's absolutely key. And now I think this is lap 3 now. We're catching up to the back of a Williams. This is Felipe Massa, I believe. So we're going to try and possibly get him up the inside, maybe into the middle sector, or maybe even here. Don't worry about that. We've got him into late com, and now I think Massa... No, he comes back at us there. We throw up the hand in frustration as we touched side pods, but Massa just hangs on to P6 there. This has been a very exciting start to this race, and it's by no means done yet. We're still battling with this Williams here, and I think we squeeze him out just enough to take his position. So who's up next? I believe it was Sebastian Vettel, but he got in front of the Williams there. So it looks like the Ferraris are very slippery, very fast around this Belgian Grand Prix circuit. So here we can see this is a tasty little battle. This is Bottas, Vettel, and Rosberg, I want to say. So we've still got all the top teams right in front of us. We'll try and get in front of Massa here if we... No, that's Bottas if we can. And it looks like we've just got the move done. Very similar move to what we did to his teammate just a couple of laps ago. So I think we're into P5 now. And next up is Sebastian Vettel, the first of the 2 Ferraris. I believe Kimi Räikkönen is actually leading this race. So that's very good for his championship aspirations so far. He's managed to clear everyone behind him from that DRS window. So he's looking very strong in the early phase of this race. We got the inside of 2 cars there. Very ambitious move into that understeering corner. I think we bashed a Mercedes out of the way there, but we were sort of alongside there, so I decided to carry on. We can't afford to take any prisoners in this race, and we're just going to continue to move forward. Next up is Lewis Hamilton. This is for second place. We're already on the podium. I think we're like 5 or 6 laps into this race, halfway through this stint already, but it's just been a lightning start. It's down to just maximizing this middle sector. You can see just how quick we are when we have the additional front wings. It almost looks like we're not even getting affected by the dirty air. That's just how much more downforce we have in this Red Bull around this sparse circuit. It looks like everyone else is running really low wings, and that's allowing us to be very, very strong at the early phase of this race. When fuel is up, when the fuel loads are high and the car is very heavy, it looks like we're very strong at the moment. Are we going to be strong later in the race? We'll have to wait and see though. Meanwhile, we're battling with Lewis Hamilton here, round the outside through the final corner, and he just hangs on to second place at the moment. Trying to tuck into this slipstream as much as I can. We may go up the inside, but it may be to our detriment here as we have a compromised run on the exit of turn 1, and I believe Hamilton is still on our left-hand side there, coming to the top of our Rouge, and we didn't have the best of exits. And now all of these guys have DRS, so they're just going to fly past us. I'm going to try and cut off Rosberg if I can. Didn't quite work out there, but we hang on to... What position are we? I think we're P4 at the moment. So, no, P3. It's actually quite hard to keep track of what position we're in since the HUD isn't there anymore. And since we're just changing positions so quickly now, you can see this is the replay of us getting around Vettel once again and moving back into P3. So Hamilton right in front of us, not Rosberg, it is Räikkönen who still leads this race. He's got about a 5-second lead already, and he is looking very strong in this race so far. Once again following Hamilton, this is through Pouan. We'll try and get as close to him as possible through this middle sector, and then hopefully the slipstream can be enough to tow us along and maybe sneak us alongside and maybe go the inside into the bus stop. That's how I'm sort of setting up my moves, by just trying to just dominate this middle sector and just hope that the straight line speed from the slipstream is enough to just get me past. So it's going to be interesting once we get in front of Hamilton whether we actually have the pace to catch Räikkönen, because once we don't have that, slipstream anymore, we're going to be possibly very low down on the straight line speed. So I'll have to wait and see. Setting up the move with Hamilton here. He goes defensive, but we got the inside anyway into the bus stop. It's a very similar situation to the last lap. Hanging around the outside. A lot of understeer. Hamilton is still there, but Vettel is closing right behind us as well. All of this battling, while we're doing it at the start of this race, is allowing Räikkönen to just continue to eke out that lead. I'm sure it's over 6 or maybe even 7 seconds now as I run wide through the first corner. And Hamilton didn't have the best run through turn 1 as well. That he actually lost the position to Vettel there. So now here comes Vettel, all of a sudden, up the inside into Al Rouge. It's side by side. I had nowhere to go. If I would have tried and stick it through that corner there with Vettel, I think we would have had an almighty crash there. As you can see on the replay, I think we touched wheels there ever so slightly, and I just said, nope, I'm going to avoid a crash here. I'm just going to straighten out the wheel and cut the corner, but allow Vettel to go through anyway, as he has DRS. But we hang it right around the outside now. It's game on once again for position 2 in this race. We can see there's a massive trend behind us, including Hamilton. I think that's Bottas as well. Vettel, as you can see, obviously trying to get in front of us. And now this is a lap later. Vettel, Hamilton and Rosberg getting together at the exit of our Rouge there. I believe someone spun off here, and we'll see from this replay here just what happens. This is Rosberg we're on board with. No, that's Hamilton, and then that's Rosberg who spins off of Vettel's right rear tyre. Wow, so as you can see on board with Rosberg here, he just gets tangled up, spins out, loses his front wing, and that's almost game over for Rosberg. I don't know if he's retired from that, or if he got collected by someone else behind him, but that's all the replay would show. As you can see, he just gets forced out wide there, and I don't know if Vettel's going to get a penalty for this, but it does look very, very sinister, as now we slow it down. These two just interlock wheels, and they couldn't really turn. And then once Hamilton got involved with Vettel, that's when the Force moved back to Rosberg, Force Awakens, Spa Wars, and Rosberg just spins out there. So that is a very, very unlucky situation for Rosberg. That is one less player that we're going to have to contend with for the race win here in Spa. So,
9 seconds separate you. You're losing 3 seconds a lap. 36 laps to go.
So as you can see there, very damning news from the engineer there. 3 seconds lap slower than Kimi Räikkönen, the race leader. Obviously, I don't think that's a true representation of his pace, but I don't know, we'll have to wait and see. As you saw there with the replay, that was Hamilton and Vettel making their first pit stops of the race, and now a few laps later, this is Kimi Räikkönen making his stop. We're all going on to a set of options in the next stint, and then we're going to put on a set of primes to run to the end. So it's very interesting as well, because the engineer has decided to leave me out for about 3, 4, I think maybe even 5 laps longer than everyone else. So much so that we've lost so much time that Räikkönen has actually already passed us before we've even made our pit stop. That's how much of a lead Räikkönen has at the moment. We lunge him up the inside just to hold him up. I know I'm coming into the pits anyway, so if I'm going to do any damage to the leader, I may as well just, I don't know, try and be annoying to him. But now we come into the pits. We're going to put on a set of option tyres, just like I mentioned. But the cars around us have had a 3-4 lap undercut, so it's going to be pretty unlikely that we'll hold on to second place. But that's okay though, because we're going to have fresher tyres for the rest of the race. And so long as we can get within that 1 second DRS window, then it's going to be gravy. We're going to fly past them like we did at the start of the race. So we rejoin. It is in position 4, but there is a Williams who has emerged in front of us.
The gap is just 1 second.
So 1 second to Massa, we managed to make up that gap pretty quickly, and as you can see, we've got the slipstream working to full effect here, and we'll probably pass him very easily into the bus stop section. So we'll try and set that move up. You don't want to get too close to Massa here as you head into Blanchimont there, otherwise you could cause some very awkward situations. Are we going to got the inside into the bus stop? Yes, we do. Massa's still on the left-hand side there, so we do need to leave him some space, and I believe we almost made contact there, but I just left him enough room for him to squeeze through there. It's critical that you leave the AI room, otherwise you will get spun out, and that is, yeah, just enough room. We move into P3 now. 26 laps to go. Massa comes back at us once again. He's got DRS, and there you go. He flies past us. It's no real surprise, really, because we are running with more downforce than what we normally run. We are in a Red Bull powered by a Renault engine, so the straight line speed, trying to hold on to positions if you don't have DRS or slipstream yourself, it's going to be very tough to defend. But what we can do is go on the attack through the middle sector, and we've got Massa once again. So it looks like we're in position 3 at the moment. I'm not too sure why, because both Mercedes undercut me as well, and so too did Vettel. So I'm surprised to be so far up the order compared to where I was just before I made my first pit stop. So I don't know what the deal is. Maybe some cars are making an extra stop and they've already come in. We're about to come in for a next stop and go onto a set of primes. Meanwhile, while I'm saying this, we're still battling with Massa, who continues to just battle with us. I just need to clear him, get out of that 1 second DRS window, and I should be fine. And that's actually what I did once he made his stop. So here we are. This is about lap 30-ish. just about to come in for a set of prime tyres, and Vettel flies past us after he makes his next stop, and he's actually put on a set of option tyres. So it looks like the AI all around me are going for 3 stops, whereas I'm going for a very traditional 2-stop here. So can we get ourselves onto the podium and finish in 2nd place? Maybe even challenge Raikkonen for the win.
Battle ahead. The gap is 6 seconds. You're losing 3 seconds a lap. 19 laps to go.
What I was going to say, can we challenge Raikkonen for the win if we are going for 1 less stop here? We're going to need to be quick though on these current set of tyres, because he's got a massive lead at the moment, and I just don't know if having 1 less stop is going to be enough to get in front of Raikkonen, because he already was 1 pit stop's lead in front of me, and he is very quick as well.
The gap is around 20 plus, 20 plus. 16 laps to go.
So yeah, it's going to be very tough for us to win at the moment. I think our current target is trying to beat Sebastian Vettel and finishing in 2nd place. But as I look at my steering wheel there, I'm in 2nd place already, so I don't know what the deal is there. What's going on with everyone around us? There are some lap cars we're getting in front of. I think that was a Sauber who was going very slowly. He's got some kind of problem. It is a front left puncture, so I don't know if he's tangled up with someone around him, tangled up with the leader. I don't know what the deal is, because the Mercedes should be around us, and so too should at least one of the Ferraris or a Williams. I just honestly do not know what's happening. And now this is the final lap, so whatever is going on is happening. And now this is Nico Rosberg battling Lewis Hamilton. These guys are behind me, so these guys must have made 3, maybe even 4 stops, because they are still like 10 seconds behind me in 3rd place. So something has obviously gone on, whether it be a crash or whether it be a blunder in the strategy, because the Mercedes should not be battling for a final spot on the podium on the final lap of a power track. But either way, it's really exciting here to see these two go to battle here. This is Hamilton going up the inside of Rosberg, and I think he may have that position locked down as he's on the option tyres. Rosberg on the primes. But us though, we're coming through the bus stop for the final time. I'm not too sure who has won the race yet as we come through the final corner. We've come from position 15 to finish on the podium and in 2nd place for the Belgian Grand Prix. I will take that any day of the week. 18 points to the championship tally, and it looks like Lewis Hamilton finishes in 3rd place and steals that final spot on the podium. So Vettel has won the Belgian Grand Prix. What on earth has happened to Raikkonen?
So it's Sebastian Vettel who's brought home the race win today. He mastered the conditions and produced a dominant drive to take the win.
So that has been the Belgian Grand Prix for Pro Season Mode. I honestly do not know what happened to Raikkonen. He was in control of that race right from the start till whenever the hell he dropped out of the points or retired. I'm not too sure. He didn't finish in the top 10, that's for sure. So that's 2nd place for us. 3rd for Hamilton. We gained 3 points over Hamilton, and I believe we're 19 points behind him in the championship tally. So I believe Hamilton moves to 1st and Raikkonen drops to 3rd. But yeah, very good race in the end. We had a lightning start, going from 15th to well inside the top 10 within a number of laps. There was a stage there as well where both the Toro Rossos were in 3rd and 4th, and unfortunately with the Mercedes having their extra pace, they managed to chase them down and make them drop to P5 and 6, I believe. So looking further down the field, we can see Raikkonen, the only person not to finish the Belgian Grand Prix. I assume he had some kind of mechanical failure, or maybe he got involved with that Sauber who lost a tyre there with a puncture there. So not too sure what's happened there. The championship has, of course, tightened up once again. The gap is now 18 points to Hamilton as we move into 2nd in the driver's standings. Raikkonen in 3rd place, as I mentioned just before. Rosberg holds firm in 4th place. Sebastian Vettel gaining momentum by taking out that race win and jumps Bottas to move into the top 5. So that has been the Belgian Grand Prix for today. Let me know what you thought of it in the comments. Leave a like if you enjoyed this series. Let's see if we can try and smash this video with, I don't know, 2,000 likes. That'd be incredible. I want to try and bosh out this this series now, you know, at least once a week. I want to try and upload a lot more regularly. So if you guys show lots of support for this series, that'll definitely be happening. I want to try and make this season where we finally win the goddamn championship on F1 2015. I'm not going to go a game without winning a championship, that's for sure. But this may be our final opportunity. But that's been this episode for today. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. And I'll see you guys for a brand new video very soon.